very, very good friends. But first we're going to say a prayer. So if everybody bow your heads, please. Lord Jesus, we want to lift the dark cloud that's on this city. Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me and that you keep me from evil, that you may not cause pain. That's from 1 Chronicles 4:10. Thank you, Jesus, for your love for us and for Lynn and for all that we have today. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks. I've known Lynn for many, many years. We went to school together, so I won't tell you how long that's been, a little over that many years. We're both young for our age. But Lynn has been my friend ever since school. We both lived away, and when we came back together, we reacquainted. She is probably the smartest woman I know. I tell everybody that. She is willing to dig into statutes. She's willing to look into where something's wrong to try to correct it. She's a businesswoman. She's had many businesses. She's a tax lady, and she has corrected things that I never thought could be corrected in taxes. She has given me advice about business and things like that. So she truly is the smartest woman I know, and she will be the best mayor for Marion. As a city councilwoman, she's dug into things that nobody ever thought she would, actually. And so she has, she's gotten into the tips. She's gotten into the things that she tells me all this stuff, and it's Greek to me, but she knows what she's talking about. So she's really good. And so I give you Lynn Johnson, our next mayor of Marion.
Sabra, I think that a price I paid for that speech was well worth the money. I see some really familiar faces out here, and I'm just so happy to see all of you today. It just really makes me happy. We have a lot to cover. I'm not going to belabor the topic. I'm going to talk to you as if you understand what I'm saying, and I hope you do. We work really hard. We work really hard to make a commitment to this community, and I've made a commitment to this community now for the last 10 years, and I'm living up to that commitment. And this campaign is a part, an extension. It's like my son said when I said, should I run for mayor? My son said to me, he said, Mom, you've come this far. Why not just get the job, finish the job, and just do it? And my son has always wanted me to be in Cocoa Beach. So that was kind of a big thing for him to say to me, to give me encouragement to continue a process that we started long ago and bring it to completion. And actually, I feel the third time is a charm. So I'm hoping that there are others that feel the same way too. So today, I want to tell you that, I feel that we have, and there are some people walking in, so I'm taking my time. I'm going to let them come in because I really want them to hear what I have to say. Hey, guys. Hello. Hi. Hi, Carol. Hi, Don. Hi, Danielle. I'm so glad you're here. Please have a seat, and please have some wings. We're happy. We have chairs. We have extra chairs here for you. And there's room, plenty of room. Okay, so I just started. You haven't missed a thing. I'm just starting my speech. I'm just greeting everyone. I'm talking about the city. I'm saying things to them that tell you that I've had a process, and it's been going on for about 10 years now, since I started and became a politician, which actually being a politician for me is absolutely extraordinary. And it's extraordinary for me to work for the city. It's amazing, and I'm honored to be your city councilwoman. So If you feel like I do, I feel like there's a black cloud over this community. Maybe it's lifting, I don't think so. I feel it's from the north and the south, and it hovers over the east and west, and people just have a somewhat dim view of this city of Marion. And Marion has a lot of poverty, and a lot of crime, drug addiction, a lot of overdoses, and now we've got double the murders that we're used to. So we have, like never before, we've had problems throughout the city, and we have a community of families that have a lot of problems in their homes. And this has to change. It has to change for our neighbors. It has to change for our friends. And it has to change for our children so they can have a better community to live in. And so all of my efforts have been about the children and the future of the city. But first, before we can make a change, before we can be safe, and before we can thrive in a city, we have to have a strong, transparent city government that includes all of us. We have to have a government with leadership, compassion, and strength of character. And most of all, a vision. I have a 2020 vision for the city of Marion that the city can be better than it is for all of us. Now most people say that 2020 refers to hindsight. Well, we know that means we know more now than we did before. And if we knew what we knew now, and we knew this in 2015, we would have never elected a mayor that promised transparency and didn't deliver it, who promised to pursue the fraud of the previous administration and didn't do it the first day he took office, which he should have. And this mayor promised to balance our budget and cut our expenses, and he's still spending money that we don't know he spends. And this mayor that we hired, this is all hindsight in 2020 for us now. We're starting to realize just how much a mayor that does not have a passion for this city has cost us. So we're losing population now. These are the results of all these things. These things are important to our city because we're losing population. We're scheduled to lose another 10% of population over the next 2 years. So we've been losing population rapidly. We have an aging, weak police force and an aging, weak fire department. And the city debt continues to grow. I think it's up to $11 million additional since this mayor has taken over. He's added another $11 million to our debt. We could have said no to this mayor, and then today we may have a lot of things to be cheering about, but we didn't. We should have asked him to pack his bags and go, but we didn't. We've let him learn on the job. And now we know all this is really 2020 hindsight. Learning on the job is expensive. His team learning on the job is expensive. So I'm announcing today that I'm running for mayor because I want a change. And I am that positive change. I have a 2020 vision for the city of Marion that we can be a better city for all of us. And that 2020 vision is that I will be a mayor who is transparent and not issue illegal executive orders, and not a mayor who's costing us millions in tax dollars. I plan to be the mayor who's willing to pay the bills and not borrow from Peter to pay Paul. And I plan to reduce the debt in the city. So I have a vision to be the leader, not necessarily a cheerleader, but actually be the leader and give my team actually support with wonderful ideas and wonderful plans to improve this city. And a vision, I have a vision, and as a mayor I can unite the city. I want to unite the city from stem to stern so the black clouds that hover over all of us disappear. Because, you know, we're all here under the same umbrella, and it's so important to me that we all get along. I have a vision of beautifying this city. So my plans and programs are to fix the streets and roads, beautify the city, and fix the infrastructure that has been long overdue from being fixed. I know electing the current mayor is hindsight, and it's always hindsight, but now we have a time to correct the errors of our ways and look forward to our future. You know, we have this opportunity. We're actually going to be working on a clean slate. You know, thanks to the last 19 years of administrations, we have a clean slate. We're starting from rock bottom, and we're going to build this city up and forward. And with me as your mayor, I think we can do this. It's my 2020 vision that our hometown, and your hometown, and our hometown, Marion, can be a beautiful small city once again. That Marion needs more thriving businesses and good-paying jobs with equal pay for women. Marion, we need prosperous families to stay here and live here. We need to retain our youth. And we need to provide them good jobs and a good future so they can actually focus on their family, friends, and churches. You know, we want to live and play and work in Marion. We want to travel down safe roads. We want to travel without potholes and snow and without the leaves flying everywhere. And we need to have these things gone once I'm mayor, and that will happen. I want you to feel safe again. I want you to know that the safe in the streets is not happening right now. We need to be safely protected by our hometown police force that has all the necessary tools to make it happen. And then we need a police force that actually works to keep the peace in the city, that knows who you are, knows where you live, knows your concerns, and then actually get out and talk to the people. And actually when they're traveling through the city, they need to stop and say hello, find out what your concerns are, and let you know they're there for you. And this police force that I envision will happen. We also have to strengthen our police force with body cams and protective gear and all the right equipment to be successful. Body cams, car cams, everything that protect us, everything that protects them, and everything that makes the community modern and up to date. And we're not having that right now, but we need to make sure that's in our future. We also have to do things with the fire department. We have to offer the same thing with the fire department. We need to work that they have actually equipment that actually gets down the road, that doesn't spend all this time in repair. Because we have a lot of equipment in the fire department that needs a lot of repair. So we need to know that we need a stronger police force and a stronger fire department, and we can do this together. We are going to be thoroughly protected, and we're going to strengthen all these things that our city needs to do. But my primary focus will be on the economic development of this city, so we can be attractive once again to businesses coming in, to our friends and neighbors and families coming to visit us, but basically we can actually start to thrive again within the business area. And in order to thrive, we have to have a community that looks like and feels like we're somewhere someone wants to live throughout the city, in the subdivisions, and in all the streets, and with the homes. And this is one of the reasons why we have the Neighborhood Protection Act, so that we can actually ask our citizens to fix their broken windows, paint their sidings, paint their houses, and fix their roofs. And, you know, this is a positive thing going forward. And, you know, Ashley, when I ran in 2015, the Neighborhood Protection Act was one of my programs. And 2 years ago, I started a nonprofit, and I have a group that I originated the nonprofit for. They're called the Mutual Exchange Group, a Mutual Exchange Group. And what they do is they take donations in from corporate America, and then they work like Habitat for Humanity, only they rehab and improve the homes. Okay? So these are things that are necessary for us to do. As your mayor, I will work to see that the Preservation Act is designed to encourage the homeowners and rental homeowners to improve all their homes, and if there's someone who can't do that, then we'll have a nonprofit that will come in and ask them if they need assistance. And we'll go neighborhood to neighborhood and find out who those people are. So we're going to take the neighborhood preservation up a step higher with me as your mayor. All right, so, I think I sound pretty confident, and I know you probably think I sound pretty confident, but I have every reason to believe these things can happen. I have every reason to believe that we can have a better budget, that we can have a better future, that I can refinance a lot of this debt and get it out of our way, because that's sort of one of my specialties, that we can actually work together to make a nice community and have opportunities to thrive for everyone here. And everything we talk about, all based on money, okay? So all of this means money. If you don't have money, you can't thrive. And I don't mean to emphasize money enough, but actually money is so important to us. The 3 programs that I have not activated yet, that I plan to activate the minute I become an office, those 3 programs are focused upon earning revenue for the city, not tax revenues, but revenues in the projects and revenues that can be used by the city as other income to improve the city, street by street, door by door, neighbor by neighbor, road by road. We can use the money that I'm going to earn for the city as your mayor, and you'll be surprised. It might take me 6 months, maybe 8 months to get these projects started. But at the end of the first year, everyone's going to say, they're going to sigh, and they're going to believe, and they're going to say, I think that cloud is starting to lift. And then they're going to be happy. So my goal is to bring the city together into a happy place for all of us to live, and to spend the time with our families and friends. So it might sound that I'm confident, but I have every reason to be. The programs that I know of are done in other cities, and those cities are successful. We're not going to redesign the wheel. We're going to model ourselves into a wonderful small community that it has every option to thrive for everyone here. And you know how I know that? I'm a professional, and I don't make promises lightly. And I don't take this lightly. I don't take the citizens in this community for granted. I work hard for you, and I will work hard for you when I'm the mayor. And I don't make promises I don't keep. If you ask anybody that knows me, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So you're going to look at me, and you're going to hire someone that wants your city to grow and become the best city it can ever be. So I ask you again, do you want to see this city grow? Do you want to see this transparency in your government be something you can count on, trust, and respect? Do you want to have a mayor with integrity and with a 2020 vision for the future? So if you do, then you need to tell all your friends. You need to work hard and get them to the polls. You need to ask them if they're registered to vote. You need to reach out to all the people that are going to vote on May 7th, because this is the most important primary that this city has ever had. And you have them out to vote for me, then I will make all these things happen, and I will be happy and dedicated to you, and see that we will have a good city once again. And we'll do the right things for this city. Thank you. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious, why do you feel like you would be better fit for mayor than the current mayor?
Well, that has to do with experience, okay? I've experienced it being successful in most of the things that I've been able to do. I've been able to create a vision have the technical skills to put it together, and then make it happen. And I haven't done that just now. I started doing that over and over again 30 years ago in business. You know, I'm one of the few people that actually has the technical skills to make the dream come true. And that's what an accountant is. You know, we're dream makers. Okay? So when I work for a business, I work and I help that business fulfill its dreams. And that's what I can do for this city. Anybody else? Any questions?
How do you plan to address the police department issues with pay, the police department being understaffed, the fire department with firehouse #1? How do you plan to address that?
Okay. That's a really good question, Ed. Because one of the problems first question is, how do I expect to staff the police department that's understaffed? Okay, so the reason this tapping and the reason the department is aging is because our former mayors, and I'm going to say plural, were supposed to be adding, if you look at the statistics, 2 people a year need to be added to the police department to strengthen the police department. Right now, we're having to add 5 or 6 people because for the last several years, we have not been adding the statistical model that we need 2 people, 2 new policemen a year. Because a policeman takes 18 months to get on the ground and be effective. So you have to look at it from a requirement of a city of this size. And if you're going to cut costs and cut money, you're not going to hire a new staff, and you're not going to hire a new policeman. So every mayor for the last 5 or 6 years, no one's actually hired any policemen. So we're in that area. The benefits for a policeman that have been told that just a matter of wording, these benefits that have been magically transferred to the police chief and the fire chief and the assistants, somehow magically for the last 3 years they've been paid benefits comparable to our labor union contracts. Okay? So these benefits that they've been getting don't just mess with our budget that we didn't know was happening. Okay? They mess with the labor union contracts because it puts us in a weak position to negotiate our union requirements. So when we go to the table to negotiate a contract with the union, they're going to say, why are your chiefs getting these benefits? Why is so-and-so getting these benefits? These benefits have been set aside for the labor portion of the police and the fire. So what we have to do is a management decision. This management decision can be readily handled at the management level in the policy manual for the city of Marion 3 years ago. They could have given the proper raises, they could have given the proper benefits to match that and do that as a structural change in the management, how the management is treated on the inside of the city. So these are management problems. Management problems by a team that doesn't know how to manage a city. Right, and the equipment and all that stuff and the money that's being spent has been transferred over to support a lawsuit that should have been a fraud suit, not a civil suit.
I have a question.
Yes?
What kind of jobs you got in mind if you do win the mayor?
Technology jobs, Ashley.
That's right.
Okay, because the technology field is probably, that and the medical field are 2 of the fastest growing fields in the nation. You know? And if we can coordinate, there's a city in southern Indiana that has coordinated with the school systems and the junior colleges and the colleges in the area to provide technical training for the students. So the population is prepared to handle a technical organization or business coming into their city. So there is a city in Indiana, and that mayor is doing things right. And so we're going to model that mayor. We're going to prepare our students to be able to handle the technical aspects of business and actual technology.
Well, in my opinion, we don't need no more fast food restaurants. We don't need no more fast food restaurants. We need like factories and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, factories are modeling technology.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything you do in a factory right now, we have plenty of growth in the world, in the United States in factories.
Right.
It's just how the factory is managed and how it processes things, and it's all high tech. So actually, it's had to eliminate employees because technology increases or eliminates the need for a lot of people and feet on the ground. Okay, so there you have it, because we do have growth in business. So when we grow from business standpoint, we need to grow and model after Butterworth Industries, which is really high tech, and they're in Gas City. You know, we have some real high tech transportation divisions like the Dollar General Transportation Unit and Walmart Transportation Unit, and they're pretty high tech. So we need to provide education, and I'm talking about real high level education. Not just getting to know your computer.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm having trouble with my cell phone, okay? But I have a STEM degree, so I can program a computer, and I could probably hack it if I tried. But I'm not going. Okay, so these are the things that we have to teach our children. You know, how to get by in the world in a business environment that needs them. And then we have to do that and provide that environment for them. So I've been talking to San Francisco. I've done this for several years. I have friends in San Francisco. And one of the ideas, and I don't really want to say it too loud because I've even talked to Tim Eckerly about it, and I'm not sure how he feels. But there are a lot of gamers. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of opportunity with groups in San Francisco to find housing. They need housing for their employees, especially the brand new ones that are coming into their businesses. And you know, actually, if we were to develop this community like a farming community for technology, they could live in their own place. You know, and they could work from their computers from home, and they could work for their company in San Francisco and be happy here. And then maybe they could help teach our children and be professors. You know, so there's a lot of opportunities. So I've already started that dialogue. I'm looking at that, but that's a long-range plan.
Yeah, it is.
Real long range, but I've started that dialogue. And I didn't do it just because I think I might run for mayor. I think it because it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
Any other questions, anyone? So am I going to remodel the office at downtown? You're not going to ask me about that?
Absolutely. Bring on the pink cane.
You know, I might have a new desk. My husband has been building a desk, and we don't know why, really. I mean, I need another desk. My husband has a desk ready to come up out of our basement. You know, and it's really beautiful. So I saw it to him the other day. You know, the primary is coming up, and I think I better win it because that desk would look really nice downtown. So I'm just happy. You know, the other thing that I wanted to mention, and I don't really mention in my speeches, is how much people talk to me. And actually campaigning with a district really, really helped me because I talked to people I'd never talked to before. And they gave me ideas. And that was really, really important in the process. Oh, hey, how are you, Mr. and Mrs. Wallace?
How you guys doing?
I'm doing fine, Kevin. Hey, Pam. It's nice to see you.
Good.
Really great. Would you like some wings? We have plenty to eat. No? No.
Great company to support like we always do, sweetheart.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. It's so nice to see you. We have been asking questions. Do you have any questions you'd like me to answer?
I have a
You
question,
do?
Lynn. You mentioned the tip
Yes.
issue. What is your plan to deal with that?
Okay. It's extensive.
Okay, we'll make it short.
I'm not, I will. I'm going to make it short because one of the things we don't want to do is everybody sleeping on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but I plan to consolidate the tips, roll them into a lower interest rate, okay? The ones that I can manage, that aren't linked to a bond for someone, and put them in a low LIBOR. Dollar General is in a low London International Bond Market interest rate at 0.009. So the bond market interest rate is really important to us as a city. Most of our interest rates on these tips that are spent money by Mr. Seabold that never was hung, it was hung back to the city for projects that did not develop. Okay, so we're paying about $27.5 million with principal and then a lot more in interest, and I want to reduce the interest, okay, for those tips alone. And then we kind of standing behind a blockage because right now this mayor has allowed us to reduce to a B+ credit rating, which really bothers me. Okay, so I'm going to have to work a little bit to get that credit rating up so that actually I can offer these monies to a trust department or to a bank, and there's only 2 in the nation that would handle this for me, and reduce the interest rate for them into a long term and stretch them out so we have lower payments, lower interest, and we can set it on a shelf and just pay it off. Okay? And we won't be paying $10 million a year for TIF, because that's some of where our money goes. It's pretty sad when your income is in excess of $28 million and 10 of it goes to pay. We only have $18 million to look at in our budget. So 10 of that $28 million goes to pay off somebody else's bills.
Well, I'm glad you said that because what you read in the paper, even the Chronicle Tribune, I don't think anyone has a handle on what the issue is. Except for you, obviously. But I mean, there's disagreement among councilmen, all of that. It just, but yet we're paying all this money on interest for failed projects.
Right. And by the way, there is a state, yes, you're right, Bill.
Thank you.
Yes, we're paying all
Maybe
this
I'll
interest.
help Lynn when she becomes mayor. And
Oh, that'd be great, Bill, because I'm going to have some
I got a
teams.
better idea than that.
Yes.
I got a better idea than that.
okay.
But no, this is the thing. The teams that I have to put in place when I become mayor are going to be different than any other mayor. Okay? I'm not just going to have a police chief and a fire chief. I'm going to have maybe 3 or 4 really high-level functioning people that are going to get my programs up off the ground. Okay? And when I get these programs up off the ground, it's going to, for one, I actually know it's going to be 6 months. And Dr. Bell knows what that program is. It's going to take 6 months from beginning to end to see money coming rolling in. For the other one, it's probably going to take 3 months for see money coming rolling in. And then the one right behind that is going to take probably, if I can put my hands on $150,000 pretty quick, I might get it started right away. But I have to build something first, and I can't tell you what I'm going to build because it's going to benefit the fire department. And it's going to benefit the whole city. Okay? And I'm going to build something. And it's going to be exciting, and everybody's going to see it. I'm not a sneaky mayor. Everybody's going to be happy because you know what I am. You all know me pretty well, don't you? I'm a talker. You think I'm not going to be transparent. I'm going to be out walking around and talking and cheering. And you're all going to say, yeah, that's her. That's all she does is talk. You know, she has ideas and she talks about them. And so I'm going to talk to people about this, and you're going to get excited. So just those 3 programs alone. And then I have another gentleman in this room that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to put someone on the ground on the Neighborhood Preservation Act and make sure these homes start getting up to code. Not going to rely on a building department that wants to tow away cars. Our building department makes money towing away cars. So when you look at their revenue and the money they bring in, they're not going around and looking at these run-down houses right now. They're going out and looking at cars that need to be towed. So there's a whole bunch of cars they can get money from. They're supposed to be looking at homes and saying, you know, that window's broken. You know, there's trash in your yard. You know, we don't like this. And
Are
they're
they
not-
using the money from the towed cars for that program of, that they're
That
supposed
was
to do?
tearing the houses down that are bad.
No, they're using the non-reverting fund to tear. They're down now. They're going to tear this property down on Adams Street. That's connected right there, the old dealership. Well, the building next to the dealership. It needs to come down. It used to be like Standard Market way back in the day.
So what they so they're towing cars as their revenue producer, and what are they using that revenue
Where does
for?
that money go to?
That's what I want to know. Where
Well,
does
I
it
do
go?
too.
We all do.
We all do. And I've asked them several times. And it goes as a line item in, but I'm not sure where the line item going out is. And if I can't find it, last year when I did the budget and reviewed the budget, it took me 3 days. Okay? And I found $620,000 of slush fund money in that time period. And I had to address it. And I addressed it with the mayor. And I said, excuse me, I have a problem here. You're hiring ghost employees. Okay, I found like 5 of them. I said, why are these people in the budget? You know, if I had produced a budget like that to the corporate world where I work, I'd have been fired. I'm going like, why are these dead? Why are these ghost people in here? Well, they don't exist. I said, why do we have a line item with them there? Well, we might hire them next year. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. We need to come back before the city council and say we're hiring somebody. How hard is that? You know, we need to be able to loosen up this money so we know what we're going to use it for, just like you're asking. And in the meantime, this whole, I'm not sure, I'm sorry, I don't want to say anything that really bothers anybody because I have a lot of respect for people that stick their necks out and work for the city of Marion and actually stick their necks out and want to be the mayor. You know, I don't want to sell you that I don't. But actually, I have a lot of respect for people who travel and watch the money even more and actually do things right. So my respect for this city is really diminished. You know, my respect, I mean, I have actually been disappointed, if you can say. I campaigned when I campaigned the last time. When I lost the mayor's race the last time, I actually jumped out and campaigned with Jess. And I talked to people for Jess. And I said some things I probably shouldn't have said that I would help Jess, and I definitely did help Jess. I found the Dollar General money, and he was not allowed to take it. It was a major disappointment because $1.4 million is a lot of money. And I found $2.6 million. But the time we retrieved it, it was whittled down to $1.4 million. And then we were told, oh no, we can't do that to Dollar General. Well, we accelerated the Dollar General note almost 15 years in the process. Who accelerates a bond at a 0.009 interest rate that should be sitting there and be happy and just pay the principal and interest every year till 2035? It wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going to change. It's a small wiper. If it changed, it changed by 1/100 of a point in interest. So why do we accelerate it is my mystery. And if you guys can help me solve that mystery, I would be a happy camper. But the state says, and the rulings of the state, the DLGF in the state of Indiana says that excess funds have to be approved by the city legislature, city council of the city they're in. That means that Dollar General money that was over and above the principal and the interest and the fee has already been determined to be paid by the city council. So anything more than that, someone has to go from the city controller's office and say this money is here. what do we do with it? And ask the city council. That hasn't happened in 3 years. So we have millions gone that we could have built streets and roads with. That's our problem. We could have done something with that money. We could have had better police. We could have hired more policemen. We could have given more raises. We wouldn't have a mad chief of police. We wouldn't have a mad fire chief. We would have more employees. We'd have raises. People were working for poverty level wages in the city. We'd have a better motor vehicles department. You know, just think what we can do with just $1.4 million. Multiply that times 3.
It was fair for me to ask a question.
Yes, it's fair. I know. What's for dinner?
I want to know
Oh, I'm
how much
sorry.
money was spent and what you're going to do with Ice Miller in this big city lawsuit and with Unlaw and Associates, who's doing all the accounting work for the city, who's done nothing for us. Yeah, that's a amendment.
Well,
Oh, no.
Things that make you go.
Well, can I say something? I mean, first of all, when I asked them what Ice Miller could do and what they would do if they could refund or refinance all these tips in the city, I asked them. I was told that cost too much money. And when Ice Miller made arrangements for a $3 million loan for the city, we paid Ice Miller $130,000 to procure that loan. Now, you know, for 20 years, all I did was procure loans. You know, I did a $3 million loan. I did a $10 million loan. I know what the fees are. I know how much the bank charges. I know this stuff. I've done buildings in Indianapolis. I made a bit of change back in the day doing loans, but I never made $138,000 on $3 million. You know, I think the $3 million loan I did, without telling Bill, can I whisper? Oh. I made $22,000 on that loan, on a $3 million loan. On a $1 million loan, I made $10,000. That's nowhere. Ice Miller's in the business of Umball is actually in the business of doing loans for cities and bonds. You think I'm actually going to use them? No. No. And yes, who else is in the business of doing loans that you don't know about? And that's Tim Eckerly and his little group. And you know what he does? He procures and charges people money for SBA loans. Well, we're not going to hire him, but he does SBA loans on the side. And he's hooked in with the state, and they do SBA loans and charge businesses fees. That's why he has, an Economic Growth Council that has a lot of business owners in it. Oh, well, gee, he can do an SBA loan for you if you want.
Sound like a lame. Sound like a lame person.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is what those people do. Umball does it. All the they're not big CPA firms because there are none in Indiana. But the accountants in Indiana have a sideline. You know, maybe I should not run for mayor and adopt a sideline. But, no, I'm just making a joke here. But actually, that's their sideline. I actually have, when I discovered that, and we talked about this in our compliance committee, 3 of us know about how much money and how much they charge and what kind of loans they get for people. Umball was responsible for the loan for Central Indiana Ethanol. Now, the terms of that loan, you guys own houses, ever had terms on a loan, mortgages, that sort of thing, and know what terms are, right? Okay. So, this is a business. They set them in a 10-year note. Okay? And then
It's pretty sad.
that's really sad. They put a brand new Central Indiana ethanol business in 2005, Umball. Put them in a really hefty duty payment every year, and they're brand new. They haven't even started to operate yet. They had to build a building, they had to get the sales, they had to get the stuff in, they had to buy the corn, they had all this stuff to do. And Ryan, okay, Brook is his name, who is the CEO, not the chairman of the board, Mr. Berry is, but Ryan Brook told me that they struggled. They didn't know if they were going to make it. You know, who puts someone in a note like that they have to struggle for 2 or 3 years? And then the note and the trustee at the bank said, oh, gee, the city is going to make this payment out of the TIF money, but you, Mr. CIE, you're going to pay us another duplicate payment. And we're going to set that aside. So when this loan matures, the 10-year one, they have another equal amount sitting at the bank. I said, Ryan, who does that? That's unball for you. And they charged them a arm and a leg to do it. Probably, way over $130,000. I would, on that note. So maybe I know a little bit more than I should about finance. It's kind of built into my body now. It's just like the things that I see. I need cookies and milk to keep the panic down. Everybody's going to have to come downtown and bring me some cookies or milk or something, because if I get any more information, the information I get on a daily basis is just out there. And it's like, I know that it's government. And I know everybody down there is a government worker, and I'm a professional. I've never really worked in government before. And I see things differently. It's really hard for me as a businesswoman because government moves so slow. Okay? So I move quick. I take action. But I get frustrated because I see what's happened. And I know it could be better and different. So these are the things you tell your friends. These are the things you tell them about me. I like a mover. I'm a type A person in a type B body. I don't know.
Well, I see a lot of empty buildings downtown. Sometimes I'll walk and see this.
How many years have they been there, Ryan?
So many years.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have that vacant building and abandoned building ordinance now. Hopefully, the people will board them up, make them a little bit attractive, tell them that, try maybe getting them for sale, but actually make it habitable for all of us who walk by or drive by or see the city. How many friends have you had come to town you've had to take the long way around in order to get home? Have you all done that? I've done that. I take the long way around. I go the beautiful way home. Okay, I live on a brick street. And lots of times I've had to go out and chew out Vectrin. Oh, that's one of the big cheese things I do. As with my power as a city councilwoman. This is about the power I have. Okay, so they're digging up the street, and my husband's going out there, and he's going like, what are you doing? And they're going like, we're going to replace this line here. We're digging up all these bricks, right? And Bill goes like, oh, no. I need you to put those bricks back down the way they came out. And they go like, well, we don't have to do that. And he goes, well, I guess there's someone you need to talk to. Okay? So he comes into me, and of course I'm just dressed for like casual summer afternoon, I probably don't even have shoes on. All right, so I go out there in my shorts or my jeans and my sweatshirt, and I just go out there and say, hey guys, how's it going? And they go like, hey, what's up? And I said, hey, it's fine, what you doing? They said, well, we're digging up this hole. And I said, well, are you going to put the bricks down like they came out? And they're going like, no, we're going to pour this cement in here. And I said, well, excuse me, I think I need to call my engineer. He says, you have an engineer?